All right, we're going to do daily halakha today. A little bit has to do with the, it's not maybe pure halakha, but it has to do maybe halakha and a little hashkafa. The Rambam brings in Halachot Avodah Zarah that the way that the idol worshippers, the priests of idol worshippers, of idolatry, was to destroy their beard. In other words, when we say le'ashchitz kanam, to destroy the beard, it really means to bring it to a clean shave. To a clean shave. Therefore, according to the Rambam, Asra Torah le'ashchit azakan. The Torah forbidden us from what we call destroying the beard, having a clean shave. There are five different facets. What we call pe'ah is a facet on the beard, which is lechi elyon, lechi tachton, left and right, and then shibulat hazakan, which is basically here. So, and we measure it from the jawbone, which is right here. When you open your mouth, it's right here, all the way to the edge of the jaw, the lower jaw. This is one. From here, to the outline of your chin. By me, it's covered, but this is going to be 1, 2, 4, which is 3 and 4 here, and 1 in here. The mustache is not 1. In the time of the sages in Spain, there was a Mussar that they knew exactly how far does the facet extend into the face. We don't really know. They knew, like for example, argument's sake, it was as wide as this. Let's say the hair from your sideburns go like this. So therefore, since it's different by people, we can't really tell. So we grow our beards, and we grow our beards in this fashion, a full beard. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that today and I really believe the truth, due to the fact that we are not fully confident and proud in the fact that we are observant Jews, we make all kind of excuses to have a clean shave. If that would have been the style today, to grow a beard, everybody would grow a beard. But today, since the lines, the boundaries between the sexes are unfortunately being erased quite quickly, everybody has a tendency to have a baby face and so on and so forth. If it's for medicinal reasons, you have a problem, that's one thing. But what's wrong with looking like a Jew? I mean, people have locks, or they have, braids. If I was a Native American, my national identity would have been to grow 2 braids. If I was part of the Mohawk tribe in New York, I would grow a Mohawk when I would go to war. But why should I grow a Mohawk? I'm not a Mohawk. I'm not a Native American. And I'm not going to war. So why do I have to look like this? On top of that is going to be an issue of halachic issue for me. Which for me, halachic issue is life and death. So what's wrong with growing a beard? Is this too much of a statement that I am a Jew? Now, destroying the beard means when the hair, what does it mean destroying the beard? I can trim my beard, I can cut it like Shlomo, like close to the face. That's fine. You don't have to grow a beard like this. I just happen to like this style. I like long beards. Why? I don't know. That's how I was born. I always like a long beard. I have this beard since I was 15 and a half. Okay. And as soon as I could grow it at full length, I did. I always try to keep it trimmed to make everybody happy, but as soon as I had a chance, I grew it like this. Why? I never picture Yehuda Maccabi. Now we're standing right in front of Erev Chanukah. I never picture Yehuda Maccabi being clean shaved. I always see Yehuda Maccabi with a long beard or something. So there's nothing. So what does it exactly mean behashchata, to shave b'derech hashchata? So if we have, for example, cutting it with a scissor, where you have in scissors, how do scissors work? You have the bottom blade on the cutting surface, and the cutting blade is the one that moves on top. So one is stationary, one is moving. So that's where you get the scissors, that's how you're able to cut. So when I have a misparaim ke'enta, I cut it close with scissors, it's not b'derech hashchata, because the blade doesn't really touch the surface of my skin. But when it touched the surface of the skin, like with a razor or with a, those Gillettes, whatever you have today, that's a b'derech hashchata. Why? Because then allows, especially when I pull the skin down and I go like this with the blade, it allows the hair to go below the surface, and therefore there's no hair at all. B'derech hashchata, there are many opinions that what is exactly going to be hashchatat zakan. By all means, if I cut it now to a short trim on the skin, it's not going to be b'derech hashchata, it's just going to be cutting the beard. Kabbalistically is one thing. Halachically, the Rosh brings in Halachot Rosh Hashanah that the Jews before Rosh Hashanah, they cut, they get a haircut, they trim their beard. So you see that there is an inyan to trim the beard, and b'derech hashchata, according to the Ari, you can't even do like this to pull a hair or something like this. So we know that the law is that there cannot be a difference between the Kabbalah and Halacha, as the Gra says. Therefore, we must say that when the Ari says to cut it b'derech hashchata. Now, the length would be, that's what we discuss. Yeah. In a way of destroying, in a fashion of destroying. That's b'derech hashchata means. So one is considered to be destroying. According to one opinion, is going to be when I cannot take the hair and bend its end to its root. So that's one way. That's in a way, either the most strict one of all. Then there is that when you put your finger, she'en tzipor and chogeret, right? You go like this. You can't feel it, when you. That's the most strict one, when it's clean on the face. You feel it, ooh, baby face, right? And then the middle one is that you can't pull the hair, the surface. The problem comes with, of course, by all means, with a razor or with a blade on the skin. It's asur lechol hadeot. The problem comes with the shaving machines. Even with the shaving machine, all those lift and cuts and so on and so forth, since the result of a lift and cut mechanism would be that it will be smooth surface. Why? Because it pulls the hair and then cuts it. When the hair retrieves, if this is the hair, where the root comes out, and then the hair comes out from here, when he pulls the hair out and he retrieves later on back below the surface, even though the blade did not touch my skin, because there is either a foil or there is a net or something that the blades don't really touch it, but since the end result was a destruction of that, and it wasn't misparayim ke'en tar, it wasn't scissors, because here the result was, I don't care how well of a barber you are, as long if you cut it with scissors, it's always going to leave something. Since the result was a clean shaved baby face, what we call, therefore that's going to be b'derech hashchata, so that's going to be the problem. Some people say that the foil is also a problem, because the foil has an ability, if you slide a hair to the foil, if you go like this, it will cut also. I think, to my very insignificant opinion, I think it's a chumrah. I think out of all the machines, the foil is better, because the foil will always touch the skin. But regardless of which machine you use, you cannot do like what people do. They bulge their cheek. They go like this, because when you go like that, you're pushing the hair out. When you cut, it's going to be below the surface. Or pull the skin this way and go with the machine, because it will be the same thing. It should be lightly. So when you touch the machine on the surface, it should just make light contact. And if you miss a hair, there's no big deal. That's not what's going to make or break you. And I always say, Even Ben Bernanke, whether you like his financial policies or not, does have a beard. Did not stop him to be the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So if it didn't bother him, why should it bother you? What bothers you is not your beard, is your attitude. Again, you don't have to have a beard like that. I like the mountain man look, what can I tell you? But you don't have it. But there is something greater to that than just having a beard or not having a beard. Beyond the national pride that we take on our own identity as Jews. Why do I have to be like everybody else? I don't have to be like everybody else. I am who I am. And your success in life will be determined, first of all, with the peace that you'll be with yourself of who you are. So grow your beard. Trim it, clean it, whichever way, but have a beard. It's a sign that you're a Jew. You feel good about yourself when you go and you know that it's not a problem. When you respect yourself, there's a great chance that people will respect you as well. It's one of the signs of a Jew. In the old pictures that they used to have on walls, you always see the defeating army in Sancheriv's plaque that they have thing at the British Museum. You see the Assyrians coming in, they have long beards, and the Jews have short beards. Why? Because a beard was a sign of importance, of manhood. As much as for women, the hair is a sign of sexuality and celebration of their of them being females. It's the beautiful locks that they have. That's what defines them. For a man, hair also, but this hair. So, you see, it extends more. Now, according to Kabbalah, it's bichlal, altogether a different story. The hair from this point is called chesed. And then when you have a long beard, you are bringing, not to yourself, to the world, chasadim. It reflects a certain metaphysical, spiritual entity altogether. They say about the Baba Sali that until 40 years old he couldn't grow a beard. He cried to have a beard. He cried to have a beard. And if you look at his beard wasn't, He cried because it's to bring chesed to the world. The hair from here to the peot harosh, it's called softer dinim, weaker dinim. That's what we keep our hair short. Besides the issue of chatzitza for tefillin or looking clean and so on and so forth, Kabbalistically these are hard dinim, hard judgment. This is soft judgment. When we are connected to chesed with the din, we are doing what is so-called hamtakat din, softening of the judgments. The same thing as why we put, it is a wonderful tradition to put the wine in a silver goblet, a silver cup, because silver represents chesed, and the red wine represents din, and then we do hamtakat dinim. We pour 3 drops of water inside. So it's not just halacha, it's way and above and beyond. And people come and complain, well, Rabbi, Judaism is so dry. It's only dry because you didn't open the tap. You see, even halacha like this has a lot to do with that. And of course, we know that if a woman shaved her beard, she is patur. It's not reflect to her, it's only to a man. So these are the laws of, not even on a skewer, on like a little tip of a toothpick, a little bit of the halachot of shaving the beard. And I think now it's Chanukah. The world of Chanukah is not what it is today. The battle of Chanukah was all about keeping a Jewish identity and the Jewish faith going, not the people. The Greeks and the Assyrians want to destroy Judaism, not the Jews, Judaism. And the battle was for that. So I think it's a good idea to help continuing the ongoing battle and to start growing your beard. Wear your beard as a flag. Be a flag waver. Grow your beard. Be proud to be a Jew. When you're proud to be a Jew, things will look totally different for you. You do things because you're proud of them, or because you have to, and try to seek different meanings into halachot. Believe me, there hasn't been a halacha that does not have a lot of spice and juice and spiritual stuff in it. So the claim that Judaism is dry is only because you haven't tapped into the deeper meaning of that. So have a great day and happy Hanukkah.